Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Chicago Med star gives promising update on Ripley's future on the show. To say Chicago Med Season 10 has been a rough one for Ripley would be the understatement of the year. The season began with Ripley at risk of losing his job when he was identified as a suspect in the assault of Powell, only for his name to eventually be cleared when it was revealed that Sully was behind the attack. Things started to look up for Ripley from there until Sully's death sent him into a spiral that saw him making one bad choice after another. Ripley finally hit rock bottom when he got into a fight with a man outside a bar after another night of drinking, then proceeded to treat the man when he was brought into the ED due to injuries sustained in the fight. When the truth about his connection to the man came to light in an explosive confrontation between Ripley and Frost, Goodwin had no choice but to suspend him without pay, with termination likely. We didn't think things could get any worse from there, but then Ripley ended up literally buried alive after racing into action to help a young girl and her mother who had become trapped in a well. The ordeal nearly resulted in Ripley losing his life, but thankfully the firefighters were able to get to him in time and saved his life. While Ripley survived his brush with death, his future remains very much uncertain as his suspension remains in place, and his job is very much in jeopardy. The deck is stacked against him, but it seems all hope is not lost. Speaking with TV Line before episode 15's release, Luke Mitchell hinted that he has no plans to leave the show and very much wants to continue working on NBC's long-running medical drama. Personally, I hope that he wins favor back from Goodwin, and she changes her mind, and the board makes the decision to keep him around because that means I still have a job, and I very much like working on Chicago Med. But we'll have to wait and see. I think that would be more of a redemption arc for Ripley, Mitchell teased when asked about Ripley's future at Gaffney. Honestly, we completely agree with him that Ripley winning favor back from Goodwin and getting the chance to return to Gaffney is the redemption arc we're rooting for, as we can't imagine Chicago Med without Mitchell. After his near-death experience, we imagine Ripley is going to have a new lease on life, and we're eager to see how he'll pick up the pieces of his life in order to get back on track. Plus, losing an actor like Luke Mitchell would be a major miss, as he's become one of the show's most complex characters. One we can't help but to root for even when he's not making the best decisions. We deserve to see Ripley get a second chance, and his return to Med following his suspension would open the door for some amazing storylines. In a city where every second can mean the difference between life and death, fans have found themselves captivated by a new, beating heart within Gaffney Chicago Medical Center, Dr. Mitch Ripley. Ever since Ripley's first whirlwind appearance in Season 9, viewers have been clamoring for more of the brooding yet brilliant emergency medicine doctor, whose complicated past has added rich new layers to Chicago Med. And now fans have a reason to celebrate, because in a recent interview, Chicago Med star Luke Mitchell, who plays Ripley, has given the most promising update yet on his character's future. It's safe to say, Mitchell said with a smile during a panel discussion this week, Ripley's journey is just beginning. Fans have been speculating for months about Ripley's future. Was he just a guest star brought in to shake things up? Or was he going to become a true fixture of the ED, much like legends before him? The Will Halsteads and Connor Rhodeses of Chicago Med lore. Luke Mitchell's comments seem to finally confirm that Ripley is here for the long haul. We're diving deep into who he is, Mitchell revealed. He's not just a guy with a rough past. We're exploring what drives him, his resilience, his stubbornness, and most importantly, his heart. He's someone who believes fiercely in redemption, not just for himself, but for everyone who walks through the ED doors. Mitchell also teased that upcoming episodes would peel back more layers of Ripley's past, something that has been only hinted at so far. Longtime Chicago Med viewers have already been drawn in by the subtle glimpses. Ripley's haunted looks during certain trauma cases, his visceral reactions to cases involving children, and his reluctant, growing friendship with Dr. Charles. It's going to get emotional, Mitchell promised. There's one episode coming up where Ripley faces a patient who reminds him of someone from his past. It sends him into a bit of a spiral, and we'll really see how vulnerable he can be. Behind the scenes, the writers seem just as enthusiastic about Ripley as the fans are. One insider shared, "The moment Luke stepped onto the set, we knew we had lightning in a bottle. Ripley brings a fresh energy, but also fits into the Chicago Med world in a way that feels natural. There's so much story to tell with him. One storyline that fans are particularly eager to see unfold is Ripley's slow-burn relationship with Dr. Hannah Asher, played by Jessie Schramm. The two have shared a few charged moments, a shared cigarette outside the hospital, a comforting glance during a tough case, but nothing has been made official. Still, the chemistry is undeniable. Ripley and Hannah have a lot in common, Mitchell noted. They both carry guilt. They both know what it's like to rebuild your life from the ground up. But that doesn't mean it's going to be easy. They're two very guarded people, so the journey is going to be messy, real, and hopefully rewarding for fans. Schramm echoed those sentiments in a separate interview. There's this push and pull between them that's so compelling. They're both trying to do better, and sometimes that means they challenge each other in uncomfortable ways. It's not just romantic tension, it's two people trying to figure out if they can trust again. Ripley's place among the rest of the Chicago Med ensemble is also evolving. Viewers have seen him form a begrudging respect for Dr. Dean Archer, clash with Dr. Crockett Marcel over a risky surgical decision, and even share a few much-needed laughs with Nurse Maggie Lockwood. The dynamic between Ripley and Archer is one of my favorites, Mitchell said. They're both hard-headed, they both think they know best, but under all that bluster, there's mutual respect. And I think Ripley really admires Archer, even if he'd never admit it. Asked if Ripley would eventually find himself in leadership at Gaffney, Mitchell smiled coyly. Ripley's not there yet. Right now, he's still figuring out how to be part of a team again, but who knows what the future holds. He's not someone who backs down from a challenge. One particularly exciting piece of news Mitchell dropped was that the season finale would include a major turning point for Ripley, one that sets the stage for an even bigger role next season. We're going to end the season on a cliffhanger that directly involves Ripley, he teased. It's a moment that's going to make fans gasp, and it changes the trajectory of his story in a really profound way. While Mitchell remained tight-lipped about the exact nature of the cliffhanger, sources close to the production hinted that it involves a critical incident in the ED, one that forces Ripley to confront his darkest fears. He's going to be tested like never before, the insider said. The choices he makes will either make him or break him. If the enthusiasm from Mitchell and the writers is any indication, Ripley isn't going anywhere. Instead, he's on track to become one of Chicago Med's most beloved and complex characters, a worthy addition to the legacy of the One Chicago universe. And fans couldn't be more thrilled. At the end of the day, Mitchell said, Ripley is about hope. Even when life knocks you down, even when you think you're too far gone, there's a way back. And I think that's a story worth telling. With the promise of deeper storylines, emotional growth, and plenty of drama still to come, it looks like Chicago Med fans will be seeing a lot more of Dr. Mitch Ripley in the future, and based on the buzz around him, the ED might just be a little bit brighter because of it.